Hello and welcome everybody. Today we start with a question. Are golf clubs overpriced? This is a 1950s Iomatic M85W, okay? No, it's the TW, M85TW, okay? These sell for a couple $100. But my first thought when I asked this question to myself, are golf clubs overpriced? I thought about the clubs I have, and my answer is no, because I can buy a driver for under 150. I can buy, very reasonable irons for under, 200. I'm just thinking, to me, it seems like it's affordable. And then it occurs to me this is an opinion. And then the second thing I want to do is I want to subdivide things. I want to divide it into the question into new clubs, brand new, off the shelf, get custom fit, selling at the pro shops clubs. Are those overpriced? Followed by, are vintage clubs overpriced? Little rant, vintage in the wine world. I'm not talking about the car world or anything else, okay? In the wine world, it's just what year was it made, all right? So some wines are supposed to develop their peak flavor after like 3 years-ish, So people are looking at 2020 vintages. And people outside the wine world are just kind of like, that's not vintage, that was made in the last 20 years. Okay. And it's all subjective, you see. So, but where I'm coming from is if it's not new. So I can throw a Callaway Maverick in with the vintage, okay? 2020, everything made in 2020, 2021. Maybe some of the 2022 stuff you can still get custom fit for. I'm thinking of the Titleist TSR series, TSR2, TSR3. Those technically came out in 2022. Okay, they're still new clubs. You can see how it gets kind of subjective here, but let's just throw them into brand new and used, okay? Maybe that's a better way of saying it, but I'm gonna call it vintage. So new clubs, are new clubs overpriced? For me, when I look at like a new Paradigm, would I buy a new Paradigm at the price that it is right now? The answer is maybe. I might. Maybe $100 less, maybe 20% less. Let's just say that. 20% less than what it's currently marked at. That's 20% can be a lot. Maybe 10%, that's gonna help, but maybe not enough to push me over. So that's my personal opinion. But what about the masses? I just don't have the market data. I don't have the sales data to say whether they're overpriced or not. If sales are way down, then you could say that maybe people aren't willing to pay that price for it anymore. You got inflation going on, we're post-pandemic, people say we still might be in the pandemic, don't wanna argue about it. But either way, that has driven the costs up. Usually labor costs. I think titanium, I looked at titanium. I know companies like TaylorMade use aluminum and carbon fiber, so their expenses. Carbon fiber is typically less than titanium. But again, I don't have the data, so TBD, I don't know. My first impression is that they're okay. I'm seriously considering buying some of those clubs, even now, late in the season, because they're awesome and they don't seem too outrageously priced. Again, everybody will be different. Everybody's in a different financial situation. Now let's look at vintage clubs. Used clubs that I think are overpriced in the modern era are these collectibles. Also, people use them as an investment vehicle. You know what I mean? I'm going to name some. Scotty Cameron Circle T's. They sell for ridiculous amounts. Compared to like a normal Scotty Cameron, you can go out and buy for $300, $400. People are spending upwards of $10,000 for some of these. Masters editions, Scotty Cameron, Masters edition, Bettinardi putters. Yeah, those are going to cost you thousands of dollars. And for some people, they're in a financial situation where that's just chump change. I mean, their Lamborghini, their Ferrari maintenance was $25,000. So what's a $5,000 putter? Maybe they'll go play it. But to me, they've transcended that. Let's go play with this club let's hold on to this club and keep it pristine because we want this as an investment vehicle or as a collectible. And that to me, loses me. I don't have much interest in those. I have interest in playing golf, having fun with golf, being with friends. That's what interests me. So to me, those are not even in consideration to be reviewed. You turn the clock back to the 50s. The the LFF M09 Jumbo Persimmon Wood by McGregor. Those things sell for $1,200, $1,000, $900 I've seen them go for. in good condition, right? There are ones that are in worse condition that go for less. So those have reached the point of the ones that I'm probably not that interested in. Even like old putters like the Wilson 8802, you can get some beat up examples of that for, around $200 or less dollars. Pristine ones go for a little bit more, or have in the past. I'm not sure where they're at now. But those are also so close. I think those are, when you're talking about dropping $200 for a putter, I could probably get away with playing that and not feel too guilty if I put a little ding in it. Yes, they're collectible. Yes, they're pretty rare. The original, was it 56? Wilson? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. The original, when they changed the name to the Wilson 8802, I think it was going to be the Arnold Palmer putter, but either way, the original 8802. Those things are pretty awesome. Again, close to that, we could play those. Maybe I'll do a review someday. 8802s. What else? Miuras are, every time I say Miura, I think of the Lamborghini Miura. But the Japanese irons, Miura clubs, are pretty expensive. Again, I don't know if they're outrageously priced though. I'm trying to think of a vintage club that's just ridiculously priced. Sure, if you go back long enough and you're looking at the the original long nose, whatever, and you Google it, what's the most expensive golf club ever sold? It's like $180,000 for this 1970 or 1790 or something, I don't remember, long nose, club. And you're just like, wow, all right, that's hundreds of years old. At that point, to me, I consider that an antique, okay? So avoiding the antique era, just looking at, post-World War II to modern day, what's overpriced? And there are the odd collectibles. There are the McGregor came out with some releases, like the 25th anniversary, like limited to 1,000 edition. But those were kind of always meant to be collectibles. So they had the non-collectible versions of those, so why not just play those? So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm struggling to think of anything that I would really consider overpriced. Because even like these old clubs, like this is an M85 TW, these can sell for upwards of, $100, maybe $200 for a set of these. I mean, the market has spoken. That's, the fair market value, and it seems fine to me. If you want to go play those, it's cheaper than buying one. You buy a set of these for, $300, $200 in pristine condition. I would think twice before playing a pristine set, but you get a used set, play them. Who cares? They're cheaper than one modern driver. It's just my thoughts. I'm really struggling to think of one club that I feel like everybody should get a feel of that's way, way overpriced. Some of the Woods Brothers Texan persimmon wood sell for $400, $500. Again, we're in that new driver range. Would I play those? For you, I would. For YouTube, I would. But if I weren't making a YouTube video about it, I would just hold on to that and not play them, because $500 for me in my financial situation is enough where I'm just like, maybe I want to preserve this value rather than just go try to break it, hitting balls into the mud. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. And I've looked at some that are pretty valuable. I'm deliberately not talking about some. So if you want to mention some in the comments below, what clubs, vintage or new, are just way overpriced? The one I don't even want to talk about, Hanma. All right, we're just going to move on. So let's talk about, was it the Travelers that just happened here this weekend? We're going to talk about some PGA golf and fantasy golf. So let me pull up here real quick the results. I'm going to put the results over here so everybody can see, but I'm going to read them. I haven't read these for a while, so let me read some of the top finishers for the Travelers Championship. Fluid Feel, 1970. Gotta love the Wilson Fluid Feels. Chopper Dave. Farbach Rippet. I like that. Golf theme. Dillsbury is number 5. Jason Nowakowski, 6. I'm butchering some of these names, I'm sorry. Tied for 6th with Jason is Robin Tong. 8. In the Hole with a 1 for the I. Will Hellowell UK is number 9, and KCP73 is number 10. Where am I? I came in 13th this week. Not the best. Either way, it was, great playing this weekend. I didn't watch much of it. I maybe caught 5 minutes of it, and I don't even remember. It was one of those like ESPN Plus featured groups. I don't remember who I was watching, but either way, it was a lot of fun for the few minutes I did watch, and I enjoyed playing fantasy golf. If you would like to join us playing fantasy golf, links in the description below. Thank you to my patrons. I really appreciate your support. You can also support this channel by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you everybody for watching. I am the Vintage Golfer.